Hey guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Why You Should Listen To. This is the show where I break down Spotify streaming numbers and just in general, an artist that have surprisingly have low Spotify streaming numbers, except for a couple songs, but the artist's monthly listeners is like under 10 million or under 5 million or even less to some extent. This is the show where we break down Spotify streaming numbers and artists that have low Spotify streaming numbers. That was a mouthful. Let's get right into it, shall we? And we're going to talk about Prince today. Prince and the Revolution was one of the most revolutionary forces in music to this day and possibly forever. Yes, the very sad day that Prince died in 2016 happened. That was a huge blow to the music community in general because there was nothing like Prince out there. I remember... just really quick backstory. I remember where I was sitting. I remember what I was doing when I found out that Prince died. I found out that Prince had died, and one of my heroes, one of my musical heroes, Bruce Springsteen, was in tour in 2016, and they opened up their show with Purple Rain in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I watched the video online. I was like, "This is incredible! It's so sad that he died." And 2016 was a rough year for a lot of celebrities. We lost a lot of great people that year. Very sad. Very, very, very sad. But Prince was a huge one. And I at the time, I really didn't appreciate him until he died. And that sounds sad to say that. I mean, I knew Purple Rain. I knew When Doves Cry. I knew 1999 and whatnot. But I didn't really come to appreciate him as an artist, a true guitar pioneer, mind you, until he died. And when I found out he did pass, and they were doing tribute shows up there, everyone's playing Purple Rain, and I kind of went through a mini Prince phase at the time because he died at the time in 2016, and I was very sad, very upset. And then I learned to appreciate his music more and more and more, and his music really did grow on me. When you put on Purple Rain, you put on 1999, you put on the Batman soundtrack from 1989, you hear some of the best pop music that's ever been. I know Kyle has said on career retrospectives that we've had Taylor Swift creating some of the best pop music in general, period. I agree with him, but nothing touches Prince or Michael Jackson or Madonna or those big three, even George Michael. Nothing touches those, in my humble opinion. That's I've said this in my own personal life. I haven't really said this on camera, but you don't really appreciate something until it's gone. And that's why, me personally, I've been going to a bunch of concerts lately since they've been back. And I've been trying to see older artists as many as I can. And I just saw Dionne Warwick. Side note, I saw Dionne Warwick recently, who's sung Burt Bacharach's records. Because Burt Bacharach died, and I want to see him. So you got to appreciate who's around still to this day, because there's not many left. And Prince left us way too soon. His Super Bowl halftime show might be, I think it is possible. I think it is the best halftime show that they've ever done. You know me, I'm a Bruce Springsteen guy, but Prince's halftime show was the best halftime show. Every other halftime show is put underneath Prince's. Black Eyed Peas, I'm not going to go on a rant, but like Black Eyed Peas and Maroon 5s, they're... Every other halftime, Rihanna's was terrible. Prince was the best one. And he performed Purple Rain at the Super Bowl. Why not? And when he died, it was a tragedy. Very sad, very sad. So that's kind of my background with Prince. Now let's get into... I only have two of his albums. I have his two most popular records, I guess you'd say. The first one I have here is actually Prince's 1999, an original pressing from 1983. This is Prince's 1999 and the original wrapping too. This is an original seal. Here is the all-new material, specially priced 2-record set. Prince contains the hit 1999. With such songs as 1999, Little Red Corvette, Delirious, Let's Pretend We're Married, DMSR. Side 3 is Automate, yeah. Something in the Water, Does Not Compare. Free. Side 4 is Lady Cab Driver, All the Critics Love You in New York. And International Lover. Produced arranged, composed, and performed by Prince. One man did all of this. One individual. Don't give me all this crap of like, oh, there's 37 writers and tons of bullshit. One man did this. Take that, Moron 5. Take that. This is a work of art. Okay? Now everyone's like, oh, 1999, the best Prince album. Ha 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 ha. Funny, funny, funny. Let's talk about Purple Rain, shall we? There's the only 2 vinyls I have of this. But Purple Rain by Prince, and the movie soundtrack look to it. There's Prince right there. Look at that. Oh my God. And incredible. One of the best albums of all time. Both of them are, but this one much more. With Let's Go Crazy, Dearly Beloved. Opening line of the record right there. We got to get through this thing called life. I forget the words. Take Me With You, The Beautiful One, Computer Blue, and Darling Nikki. The Foo Fighters actually covered Darling Nikki at one point. I forgot about that. Side 2, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and the last track, one of the most signature title tracks out there with Purple Rain. Purple Rain is one of those songs where it's like, once you hear it, actually, funny story, Purple Rain was actually heavily influenced by Journey's Faithfully. Jonathan Cain said, hey, he said, Prince came up to us and said, we'd love to, Prince said that the guitar solo on Purple Rain is highly similar, very similar, to Faithfully by Journey. It's very, very similar. Neil Sean actually said, oh, yeah, you can talk to it. Yeah. I mean, Neil Sean actually came out on Eddie Trunk, a Sirius XM host on channel, I think, from channel Volume. Sirius XM host Eddie Trunk and Neil Sean were talking one day, and he said on air, he said, Prince ripped us off, but we were okay with it because it was Prince. There you go. Show some respect there, you know? I didn't really follow a lot of his stuff closely. I'm still getting, I didn't follow a lot of his stuff post Purple Rain or post, late 80s into 90s Prince. I didn't really get into a lot of that, truthfully. But he is one of the best to ever do it. Outstanding guitarist, phenomenal, flawless. There's a video online if you haven't seen it. It's at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's him playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. If you have not seen this video, get on it. He rips all these other guys apart playing guitar. He throws the guitar off stage afterwards, showing his stature as an individual, as a musician. I just want to say something too. Prince, and going back to the Bruce Springsteen analogy for a second, Bruce and Prince were really good friends. Prince said, I just want to say something. Prince said something at one point on The View. I know you're saying, well, I don't watch The View, but I watch clips of it only because if they have certain individuals on, that's just me. Prince was on The View, and The View had, he said on The View, I forget who it was. One of the ladies asked him, she said, hey, one of the hosts said, oh, I read somewhere that you have to go out there. Sometimes you go out there go out on stage and perform any song at any given moment. Doesn't the band have to be in sync and be, ready? And he's like, very quiet man. He's like, yeah, actually we do. We do that a lot, and one of my favorite band leaders to ever do that is actually Bruce Springsteen. And he told a quick story. He's like, I was backstage at a Bruce Springsteen concert, and I watched him give a cue to his drummer, and the band switched on a dime. They switched whatever they were doing from song to song or whatever, on like that. And he said, I used to see James Brown do that all the time in the 60s. It depends on who you are. You learn from the best. So Bruce and Prince were very good friends, and then Bruce is obviously still alive, but Prince sadly passed away almost 7 years ago now. Very sad. But I wanted to share that story because that just shows you how honest of a guy he was. He was a very talented, extremely talented individual. So why should you listen to Prince? Why should you listen to Prince? And The Revolution. If you're looking for some of the best pop music that has ever been produced or made, Prince is definitely up there. Like some of the singles on these albums, like 1999, When Doves Cry, were staples of the 1980s. The sounds of the 80s, some of them were there. Like When Doves Cry, obviously. Actually, When Doves Cry famously held the number one spot against Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. Another comparison between the two of them. He held up the number one spot with When Doves Cry and Dynasty of the Dark never was the number one hit because of Prince. So everyone's like, oh, so close. But let's be real. I mean, Bruce has enough success in the world as it is. Prince has enough success too. His estate is like, in Minneapolis, they're like, all right, we're going to, preserve his work, get a museum going, or maybe not the museum part. I forget if I heard that correctly. But anyways, why should you listen to Prince? Prince was a genius. He was better than everyone else. One of the best to ever do it, and he's kind of forgotten about. As far as unless you listen to adult contemporary radio stations, they'll play him. Because, it's stuff in the 80s, whatever, like the Batman soundtrack, whatever. But if you really break it down and listen to a record, a full album from start to finish, if you can do this from start to finish, good for you. You listen to it from start to finish and you say, wow, the man really knew how to make a song. One guy made a song. It's not that hard, people. Moron 5. Just saying. Sean Puff Diddy, I don't know, whatever the halftime show thing was. And the best halftime show was Prince. Hands down, without a single second of a doubt, the best halftime show is Prince. That's not even an opinion. That's widely regarded as a fact. Just saying. So, take that, Beyonce, or whatever your name is. So, anyways, I digress. I'm getting off my soapbox. What do you guys think? Are you a fan of Prince out there? Have you understood the knowledge of Prince and the importance of him as an artist? Yeah, he'll go down as one of the best of all time, truthfully. One of the greatest to ever do it. And his music is timeless. So anyways, what do you guys think? Jump in the comment section below. Share your thoughts on this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and many more. But for all of your why you should listen to videos and many more, keep it locked on the Super Rooster, the J-Man, Off the Rock. And I'll see you guys later in the purple rain.